What is it that scares us? That makes us go to bed with one eye open, hoping to leave a light on, and hoping that light is bright enough to cover every dark corner of your room. You can send me your scary encounters at the link that I will leave below. Help us grow and make this channel bigger and creepier. In today's video, we are going to talk about more creepy stories from Reddit. So without further ado, enjoy. The Black-Eyed Man, submitted by This Is Not Sky. This happened roughly 10 years ago, but I still think about it to this day. I have searched for answers periodically, but have never come across anything I found substantial. I just want to see if anyone has experienced something similar, or may know what this is. I've always been a vivid dreamer, and I can even sometimes recognize when I'm dreaming. However, these dreams were different, or at least they were normal, until a person who didn't belong just kind of showed up. He showed up in 3 dreams that I can remember, in a span of a week. They were relatively normal dreams, for me anyway, but it was odd every time I saw him. It jarred my dream self into a sense of he does not belong here. But I really need to mention I was never afraid or felt any ill will. The first dream was a fun one where I was in a haunted mansion playing hide and seek with werewolves and vampires. Not scary, I swear. When I was running from the person who was it, I ran straight into this person, and he felt so solid in my dream. I looked up and saw him. He smiled down at me, and I awoke. I remember thinking it strange, but brushing it off as part of my dream. The second dream, not long after, I was sitting on a couch with all of my friends. We had a blanket covering our legs. I must mention that this couch was abnormally long. We were chatting when my friend next to me got my attention and said, "Hey, that person at the end wants to say hi." So I looked down to the end of the couch, and where he was not before, he was there now, waving at me. Again, as soon as I saw him, I awoke, but I was not scared. The third dream, I was in a futuristic city, running from building to building, searching for something. I remember feeling anxious, like I had to find something and had a limited time. I found myself on the roof of a tall building where I saw him standing. I didn't wake this time, and it was just the 2 of us on the roof. He reached out his hand for me to take, but before I could, I saw his eyes for the first time. Both of them were pitch black, and in my dream, I recoiled in fear. The man quickly took his hand back, but the thing is, he looked sad, like I had just broken his heart, but also accepting, like he knew I'd be afraid, was hoping I wouldn't be, but was unsurprised when I was. I don't know how to explain it, but to this day, the emotion I felt from the stranger in this dream makes my heart clench. He vanished in front of me, and I awoke. He never came back to me again, and I've actually felt sorry for the way I've made him feel ever since. I know it's weird, but no matter how I rationalize it, I can't make the feeling go away. So that's the story. I'm kind of glad to write it out, and I'm not sure if I'm glad or not that I didn't take that man's hand. I guess I'll never know. P.S. This guy shows up in 3 of my dreams feeling very out of place. I never felt afraid of him until the last dream, where he wanted me to take his hand, and I noticed that he had black eyes. Felt like I made him really sad because I was afraid, but I never dreamed of him again. Ghost Road, submitted by Calypso I Release You. This happened to me the first time about 4 years ago, and has since happened 2 other times. I think about it often, so I decided maybe by talking about it here, I can let it out of my mind. Near where I live in California, there's a woodsy road that runs parallel to the freeway, and it's normally less crowded, so it's been my choice of road for this direction for years. One night I was leaving work pretty late and took that road home like I normally do every day. This was the latest I'd ever been on this road. It was around 1 a.m. I was driving like normal with all the windows down on this warm summer night with my music up pretty loud, just decompressing from the day. Towards the end of the road, there's a memorial for a couple who had died on that road, and it's been years, so I'm used to seeing it. This night I passed it like any other time, but this time everything got slow, like I wasn't in real time anymore. I don't even remember hearing my music anymore, even though the volume hadn't changed. I focused on the road in front of me and I could see a cloudy mist like low fog, and as I drove through it, I felt like electricity was going all through my body and like my teeth had electrical currents going through them. As soon as I passed through it, everything went back into real time again, and I felt a wave of horrible sadness and fear came over me like my own emotions weren't my own. This whole experience lasted probably 2 minutes, but it felt like 20 minutes. I kept driving. I wanted to pull over and collect myself, but I wanted to get the hell out of that road. As soon as the road ended onto the main boulevard, I felt much better, but creeped the hell out by what had just happened. I stopped taking that road until about a year later. I had forgotten the whole thing by this time and ended up on that road again with my mom after leaving a late dinner, and it happened again. This time, she felt it too, and I felt it again. The memories my experience flashed back to was me as soon as I saw that low fog again up ahead. That horrible, sad, and electrical feeling surged through my body again. My mom said she felt the same thing. My feeling is that the couple who died on that road are not at rest and seem to stay near their crash site. Or maybe it's a residual energy from the impact of the crash. I've been wanting to go back to that area now. That's it this summertime again. It's only ever happened to me during summer, but I'm afraid to. It's a full body experience that makes me really tired afterwards. Has anyone else had any experience like this? Haunted Elementary School, submitted by Dr. Bepper. So I work at an elementary school in Utah that has been built and rebuilt since almost the beginning of the state itself. It's just some rich kid's school I only work at because I need the money, but it's really fucking creepy. My first week there, I started noticing things, like classrooms having objects move around even though no teacher or student had ever gone in these classrooms. My job is as a janitor, so I have to go in after hours when it's just me and maybe a manager. When my third week hit, I was starting to get pissed at how understaffed and minimal my hours were, so I just kind of breezed through everything, listening to music. One day, though, I was behind after having to clean up after a special ed student. It was pretty late and I had just vacuumed 3 classrooms. I just got through vacuuming a particularly nasty classroom and went to go switch to a different album on Spotify when I heard knocking. There was knocking all around me, like really incessant pounding on all the walls. Being someone who likes to document things, I put it on my Snapchat. Each classroom I would visit, it would start off silent, but then each time after about 2 minutes the knocking would come. Slowly at first, but then it would grow louder and louder until it was almost unbearable. Finally, after what seemed like forever, I finished my third and final classroom that night. And as I was about to lock the door, a huge knock came at me from the inside. I almost pissed myself, it was so loud. I tried to recreate it, thinking maybe I caused it with my vacuum, but I couldn't reproduce, something that loud. I ran the fuck out of that building after clocking out and almost got hit by 3 cars. It's been almost 3 months and I'm still working there, and I still have creepy shit happen, like shadow figures stalking me and a room that turns from blue to green in hue sometimes. So yeah, creepy shit. Alright folks, that's gonna do it for today's video. I just want to say thanks again to everyone who takes the time out of their day to listen to these creepy stories. Remember to subscribe and tap the bell so that you're notified every time I upload. And as always folks, fare thee well.